the new T47 one-piece bottom bracket for this Cervelo Soloist, which just came out. Now, this is a factory bottom bracket, and we're going to see that's about how good it's going to perform. Now, it's got multi-pieces. See, it's something like this. And whereas our bottom bracket is all one piece, has perfect bearing alignment, just like the front wheel hub. So let's see if we can improve on that. Before we do the install, I want to get into some details about T47A, which is also known as BBRight T47, which is also known as BBcorrect. Don't be too confused, because Factor kind of introduced this a while ago, and that they called it BBcorrect. But it is basically a 77mm asymmetric T47 bottom bracket. Confused yet? I'll explain it, don't worry. But the first thing that you want to see is how much does this weigh? All right, so we'll go ahead and turn that on. That'd help. It's sitting right at 99 grams. That's as it would be installed in the bike. Now, here is the factory one that I just removed. This is the factory Cervelo one, and you'll notice it maxes out the scale because this one only goes to 100 grams. I can tell you this is 162 grams as it's in the bike. So our T47 one piece, even though it is one piece, unlike this factory one, which is multi-piece, it is still considerably lighter. Now, T47A, the A stands for asymmetry or asymmetrical. Now, anybody who knows about BBRight, okay, a little brain teaser there. Here's BBRight as a press fit, and here's BBRight as a threaded. See that? Now, if this was inside the bike as a press fit, this would be all hidden because it's inside the bike, and this nose would be sticking out. The reason for that is that the bottom bracket shell itself on the bike, if you'll come around here and take a quick look, the bottom bracket shell itself is actually offset to the non-drive side, because you can actually see this right here. See how this arm, this non-drive side chainstay, is so much thicker than this thinner drive side one? That's because the offset needs to be over here. All right, and you can see those nice threads inside of there, but because crankshafts, cranks like this Shimano one, are not asymmetrical, they need to be in the bike symmetrically on the center line, we need to have that offset needs to be built into it. I know that really messes with people. Another thing that kind of messes with the mind a little bit is because this is a one-piece bottom bracket, when it's also the same exact unit that would fit in a Trek or any 86.5 T47, or is it otherwise known as T47 internal. All right, and that means in that configuration, this ring would basically be on there just like this, okay, because the full width of that bike is 86. Now, because this Cervelo is going to be more like right in that 77mm range, when it's in the bike, it will actually look like that. So as this screws through like that, you'll see this little turtle head poke out right there until it's sticking out on the drive side to form that offset that's necessary. So let's go ahead and put this in now that we've cleared up some of the misunderstandings. So to begin the installation, we're going to do something that bike mechanics love to do. We're going to grease this up. Oh, grease, it's the best. But it just needs simple grease. I mean, some people might want to put something like Teflon tape on the bottom bracket itself. And I mean, you can do that if you want, but that's really not required. Any kind of retaining compound is not required. Just grease. And then this is this little ring right here. Of course, in case you guys didn't know, this goes on the drive side. Okay, and this Delrin ring right here is just going to be put in here to basically like a hand torque. Okay, and this polymer socket comes with the T47 bottom bracket. Any of the T47 bottom brackets that you get from us. This just slips over that ring, and like I said, we're just going to tighten it all the way, because remember, this is left-hand thread on one side, right-hand thread on the other, because it's in that old kind of BSA English threaded format, even though it's king size, as in Chris King size. Because Chris King is the one that has invented T47. It was his brainchild, and we are big fans of Chris King. Yeah, technically he's competition, but I admire Chris King greatly. He's a great American and an absolutely phenomenal machinist. I digress. Now we want to put a little bit of grease on the inside of the ring here. Okay, Nice and neat. Try to be nice and neat with the grease, okay? And then when we're going to install this side, easy enough. We're going to go ahead and install it. Of course, install from non-drive side, install this direction. Keeps it simple. And we're going to have to give it a little push to get the nose started. And then right there, now it's ready to engage some threads. You can use, this is our BBInfinite 16-notch tool. Okay, this works on all of our BSA threaded stuff, no matter what, and all of our Italian. And it also works on our T47 external bottom brackets. And it works on this tool right here. Gives us a nice interface there so we can get on the tool with a ratchet. This is just a your typical same exact format as a Park Tools BBT 69.2. So you don't have to use our tool. This meaning that, but this you most certainly do. And we'll go ahead and tighten that bad boy up here. And normally I don't just show what it looks like when you're tightening something, but we want to keep our eyes over here because we're going to start to see something happen. Look at that. Okay, we really want to see what's going on here because what's happening is that is poking out of this side, as you can see, to form that offset that is necessary for the BBRight T47 system, also known as T47 asymmetrical or T47A. Don't you like the way the bike industry likes to call everything by about 6 different names? Anyway, that's why we're here, to help you out. I have set the torque wrench to 22 foot-pounds, okay, because this does not read in Newton meters. This is 30 Newton meters equivalent, okay, and we're just gonna, just like that. That's it. It's done. It broke away at 22 foot-pounds, which is 30 Newton meters, which is the torque spec for this bottom bracket. You're done. It's time to install the crank now. All right, putting a little bit of grease on the top hats, which is what we call them. Inserts that go inside here and make these 25 millimeter internal diameter bearings into 24 millimeter with a nice tight fit. And also, this is a nice feature, unlike this factory one, which has 24 millimeter bearings. The not irreplaceable Shimano steel spindle is going to be up against this steel bearing. This is a major source of creaking. I have no idea why people keep doing this. There's a reason why Shimano does the top hat style like this, which insulates the steel from the steel with the polymer. Like I said, the reason Shimano does it is because they don't want it to creak. The reason we do it is because we don't want it to creak. If it's steel on steel, it's going to creak and cause corrosion, and it could cause wear. And like I said, you cannot replace a spindle on a Shimano crank. Once it's worn down much past 24, it's no good. Whenever you're changing between systems, always look on the back sides of these spindles, because you see how this is kind of stuck on here? Come here and look. That, if this is on here because the grease is kind of holding it on, that could actually look like it belongs there. That's actually, it doesn't want to come off of there. That's actually the seal from the old system. That's going to add 2 millimeters to your offset, and you would be chasing your tail wondering why I can't adjust my front derailleur, because the crank is now 2 millimeters or more further out than it's supposed to be. So make sure it's stripped down all the way before you go ahead and put it in the bike. Okay, whenever I'm doing an assembly of anything, I like to do like little intermediate checks. So I just will go ahead and pop the crank arm on here and make sure that the plastic tab is popped down, and just do a quick spin on it just to see how things are starting to look. Looking good. But yeah, I mean, if you're at this point, you're just starting to put it together and something already isn't working right, stop. It should be spinning awesome, because it has 0 preload on it of any kind right now. All right, let me go ahead and I'm going to torque these to the 14 Newton meters. I'll wait until my wrist pops at 12, so I just go like a little bit pat. No, I'm just kidding. Torque wrench time. All right, and then, all right, excellent. Let's do a real spin. Well, that's what they call a job well done.